Alright people, what's up everyone, and welcome to another review with your boy GorTheMovieGod, that's me, and this is my third video game review for 2019. I'm trying to get back into it. Of course I reviewed Crackdown 3, fun enough, fun little goofy game. Days Gone, fun enough game, not great, but now we are here with a game I was super excited for. Not that I wasn't excited for Days Gone, but this one I was legitimately hyped for, because if you know me, you know I love Doom. I love Doom. Doom is fantastic. Okay? One of my favorite shooters ever. And I'm talking about the original, and I'm talking about the reboot that came out a few years ago. So I was looking forward to this just because it is co-developed by id Softwares. And this is Rage 2. Okay? It's also developed by Avalanche, the guys that did Just Cause, but not just them. You have id. So when it came to this game, every time I saw it, all the gameplay demos, even the E3 presentation with Andrew WK rocking out, I was super hyped. I was. It looked like it was going to be a blast. And the reviews started coming out, and I was getting 6s and 7s, and I was like, oh. I was hoping this would be the first legitimately fantastic shooter this year, but sadly, at least the reviews didn't say it was. So, I was a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. But I went into it anyway, and I was, I will say this, pleasantly surprised to find that the game itself, the game I wanted, is definitely here. This game is a freaking blast. And the gunplay that you would expect from a id Softwares game is definitely there. And if you even like the first Rage, you're gonna love this one. Alright, so the game itself is exactly what you expect from an open world shooter. You have plenty of missions to do, obvious ones like clear out camps, go over here and destroy this thing, go here and kill this one particular enemy. It's a bunch of stuff we've already seen. I mean, we saw some of this stuff in Days Gone. Hell, there's even bounty hunter missions in this game just like there is in Days Gone. So there's a lot of stuff that you would expect. But the thing that makes Rage 2 so different is that the world itself is very Mad Max-ish. It's very post-apocalyptic, kind of what you would expect from a post-apocalyptic game in this day and age. It has a very Mad Max feel to it, just like the first Rage. But this game, what really transcends itself above all these other shooters out there is the gunplay. Let me tell you right here, the gunplay. Oh god, it's so good. It's so good, guys. Every single weapon in this game is phenomenal. And let me just say it right here, the gunplay itself is so satisfying, but when you combine it with the other stuff you have in this game, like the wing stick is awesome. It's a boomerang that cuts people's heads off and comes back to you. Awesome. You have the superpowers that you get in the game. To be honest, I saw the gameplay and it never really processed in my brain that this game had superpowers until I started playing the game. I was like, this game has superpowers. You have ground pounds, you have force pushes, you have barriers that protect you, you have a vortex thing where you throw it at somebody and it like creates a vortex where all these enemies like get sucked into like a black hole and then explode. So you get all these abilities, including the excellent gunplay. You get a great assault rifle, you get a great rocket launcher, a good pistol, a good revolver, this other gun that you shoot and then you snap your fingers and it lights up into fire, so you can like shoot like 10 enemies with this gun and then just snap your fingers and they all go on fire. A couple other guns that are great as well, but my favorite one is the shotgun. Let me tell you, this shotgun is top 5 best shotguns of this generation so far. You have to give id credit here, and even Avalanche, because I know they also worked on it, obviously. They know how to make a great shotgun, because this one, once I got it, I could not stop using it. I was using an assault rifle most of the time, got that shotgun, I was in, baby. This shotgun's badass. It feels good, sounds good, looks good. It's great, and there's plenty of ammo, so you better use that bitch as much as you want, because it is a fun time, and enemies get in your face. So you're going to be using that shotgun a lot. And it's great. Top 5 shotguns this generation, easily top 10 shotguns of all time, most likely. So good. So you have the excellent gunplay, you have the fun powers that you get, and of course all this stuff is given to you slowly throughout the game. So you don't get everything right away, which some people might be upset about, but I liked it because I'll just be going through the open world and I'll find a thing they call the arc, an arc, where you can find a new power, a new weapon. You fight all the enemies, you get into the arc, and then it teaches you how to use either the gun or the power that you get. And I thought it was really cool. They're scattered throughout the world. You have to find them yourself. And I found it really fun because you would get a power, you get a weapon, and you wouldn't just have all these weapons and all these powers immediately, so you're just like kind of like discombobulated and you're like, which one do I use first? You get one here and there, so you're like, oh, I got a new power, let me try that a lot, and then you get really good with it, and you combo it with other powers that you get, and you keep going throughout the game doing that, and that's a lot of fun. There's a lot of missions to do. Like I said, there's a clear out the enemies and go here, destroy this, so there's a lot of missions like that. But one thing I have to give the game credit for is that it never becomes boring. It never really does. I played this game, every time I would play it for like 5, 6, 7 hours in a row, and I would just have a blast the entire time. The only reason why I would stop is because I had to go to sleep. That was the only times I stopped, because the gunplay is so tight and it's so fun and it's so enjoyable just to go into a base, kill a bunch of enemies, fight a mini boss of some sort like a giant troll or giant mech guy. It's just always fun. That's what I have to give this game credit. It is fun. There's never moments where you just have to like stealth your way in and it's like, oh, it's slow and methodical. No, this game's just straight up go in there and murder the shit out of their faces. Have fun. And I had a blast. I really did. Every time I played this game, every time I would do a side mission, every time I would do a main mission, it was just go in there, murder that troll's face, murder that bandit's face, murder the enforcer's face, which is like the, it's pretty much the military of the game. There's always a military in every game. Days Gone had military, so every game has that trope nowadays. But it's just fun. Just go in there and murder. I'm like, I like murder in games. So yeah, there's a lot of fun here, and not only that, you also have the driving, which is the main aspect of the game to get you from point A to point B. If you want to go to that mission, you're going to have to drive, and the driving itself is great. It really is. It feels very much like the Mad Max driving from Avalanche's Mad Max game from 2015, and it's fun. Now, Mad Max's driving was a little bit more intuitive, and it was also a bigger part of the game, so that has a little bit more, I don't know, there's more stuff to do with the driving in Mad Max than there is here, because, I mean, there's times where you can find, like, a convoy moving throughout the world, or you'll find, like, other people driving around, or people that want to race with you, but for the most part, it feels kind of hollow. The driving really just feels like it's there just to get you from point A to point B, and it does kind of, I will say this, the world itself is pretty big, so it does feel like it just inflates the running time of the video game. So if there's any negative to the gameplay itself, is that there is times where you're driving for a couple minutes here and there just to get to the next part where you're just killing. But the driving itself is fun, and things can happen that are entertaining and interesting. Nothing like Red Dead Redemption or Grand Theft Auto, where like random things will just happen and like a story will unfold. But you'll drive and you'll see like a crowd of bandits fighting enforcers, and you're like, okay, I'm sorry, the authority. That's what they're called. Whatever, who cares? The military. Really, who cares? And it's fun to watch them fight or whatever, and you can join in and stuff, and you'll find certain people that want to race you, and you can just race them and stuff, and you'll get points. The other thing I really like in the game is the upgrade system. The upgrade system is really cool because there's a ton of it. You can upgrade pretty much everything in the game, individual weapons, individual powers, your vehicles, anything yourself. You can upgrade a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff to upgrade, and you do feel that progression. You feel like you're getting more powerful and stuff. So I really like that. There's a lot of variety in the missions, like I said, even though they're all typical missions. It works here because the gameplay is so much fun that you just want to keep doing it, so it's good that the missions are fun. And I like the art style. The art style itself is really vibrant at times and also kind of dreary at others, but it actually works for the game. The graphics themselves isn't great, which I'll get to in a minute, but the art style I do like. So overall, the positives for H2 are pretty high, especially when it comes to that gunplay, which is the best part of the game. Don't get me wrong, the wing stick is amazing. Throw that bitch and then you watch heads get cut off. It's so good. And using the powers is excellent as well, but my favorite part is just going around with a shotgun, mowing down people, shooting armor off people's heads, and then blowing their heads off. It's satisfying, and I'm 25 hours in, and it's still satisfying. So I got to give it credit there. Now, while I said the game itself is a lot of fun, there are problems. I'm not going to just sit here and say, oh, it's just fun, that's it. there are problems where the game does stop being fun for instances because it hits you with something that you just can't forgive. One thing straight off the bat is the glitches. There are glitches in the game. I've had glitches where the audio kind of cuts out or audio loops over other audio, so you'll have characters kind of talking over each other, which is really annoying. Had that same glitch happen in Days Gone, which is funny. But my main problem with the glitches is not really glitches, but the performance issues. The frame rate would never really drop too low. Like it would stay around 40, 50 frames. Sometimes it would go to 60. But the main performance issue that I had was the crashing. The game on my Xbox One X crashed 5 times. It crashed 5 times, and luckily the autosave system is really good because there's times where I just forget to save myself, because if the autosave system wasn't that great, I would have lost progress 5 different times, and that would piss me off. But each time I would lose maybe a couple minutes of progress. So it crashed 5 times. I mean, I played 25 hours, so one time every 5 hours, I guess. Not terrible, but still shouldn't happen, period. Especially from Bethesda. I mean, I get it. They're not the developers. Also, it's Bethesda. They have tons of glitches. But still, I mean, Bethesda is a big company. This shouldn't happen still. Especially with a game that, sadly, graphically isn't that impressive. Like, I was hoping this game would be impressive, because Avalanche, for the most part, especially the earlier Just Cause games, always impressed me with the visual quality of the islands. And of course, Doom looked amazing, so I was hoping this game would look just as good as at least Doom. But of course, this is an open world game, and the world itself is pretty big. It might not be the best looking open world. Yeah, I mean, there might be a lot of just oh, look, desert plains, you know. I mean, I like the art style, like I said, but there's just a lot of oh, it's a bumpy terrain, you know. But there's something about it that just doesn't look great. I mean, there's times where it does look great, like in condensed areas when you're going through like military compounds or just like old world buildings, dilapidated like buildings and stuff. It looks good, but then when you go into the open world, it gets really muddy and there's popping everywhere. And I'm playing on Xbox One X. Okay, there's no 4K, which sucks. It's like, I think 1080p, but I think it's 900p on regular Xbox Ones. So I know what the comments are going to say. Is like, you play on consoles? What are you, a scrub? Yeah, but sure. But I like my console. I like playing on a console. I've played on consoles my entire life. So that's just where I like to play. From what I heard, the PC version has problems too. But it's just Xbox One X shouldn't have this problem. PS4 Pro shouldn't have this problem, and it does. And that's a shame. It just doesn't look that great. Another 2 things that are a problem, and these kind of go together, is the humor of the game and the story. The humor is not funny. Just straight up, it's just not. They try to be funny with like these weird like, oh, people are dressing in women's clothing, and oh, these little like dick jokes and stuff like that. And it's just not funny. It really isn't. I laugh at a lot of stupid shit. I mean, I say stupid shit all the time. That's not funny. I get it. I don't care. I say it. It might not be funny. That's not going to make me not want to say it anymore. I'll keep going with my dumb jokes. But this game just at times doesn't know when to quit. And it's just not funny. It's actually almost painfully unfunny at times. Which is really a shame because, I mean, like, every time I saw the trailers, it just looked kind of goofy and fun. And like, yeah, this is going to be a good time. Just story-wise, it's going to be a good time. And that's another problem. The story itself actually takes itself a little too seriously at times. And when it doesn't and it's being goofy, it's not funny. So it's like it takes itself too seriously at times, and then at other times it doesn't, and it's not enjoyable either way. I don't know how they mixed that up and screwed that up completely. I feel like Doom, the id Softwares was doing the serious stuff because they usually tend to do more serious stuff, and then Avalanche was doing the more humorous stuff. Even though Just Cause, I guess, even though it's silly gameplay-wise, story-wise, it's always overly serious, but whatever. So they mixed those two together, and it just didn't work, It just did not work, which is really, really upsetting. So that's another huge problem, is the story and the humor. It's just like, it's just not great. And the last thing that really upset me about this game is the world itself. Now, I wasn't expecting Red Dead Redemption 2. I wasn't even expecting something like God of War, okay? I was just expecting the world itself to have more going on in it. Like I said, you'll find random enemies just spread out throughout the world, and there could be some interesting stuff that happens here and there, but for the most part, there's not much personality in it. Like, you see a couple of the bandits like screwing around, like using bats or using their shotguns to hit the grenades towards you and stuff like that, which is fun. But for the most part, the world itself is very bland, not much going on in it, and at times it's kind of depressing. I mean, I get it's post-apocalyptic, but if you're gonna go funny, like goofy post-apocalyptic, then just do like a Borderlands. Like, I mean, that's not really post-apocalyptic, but still, that's just on a different world. But still, just do something like that. They didn't at times, and then they tried at others in the story, but in the world itself, it's very much just plain. You know, there's nothing really funny going on in the open world when you're driving from point A to point B, if you know what I mean. So the world itself is a little disappointing, but the gameplay is so good. It's so good. It really is. Just going into a bandit camp and just murdering everybody, using different abilities, comboing it all together. It's just good. It just feels good. It's just a good time. So overall, Rage 2 might not be the best game ever. I wasn't expecting that, but it is one of the most entertaining games I've played in the last couple of years. I'm not even gonna lie, I've been having a blast with it, and it is a solid 8 out of 10. I know the story, the glitches, the humor, the graphics, those are all negatives, but the gameplay is what really matters, okay? And not only the gameplay, but just a lot of the little intricacies, like the art design, like I said, and there's a couple other things that I'm forgetting. I'm gonna look at my notes right now because this review's shitty anyway. But just, you know, like there's a lot of variety and stuff like that. There's just a lot of stuff in the game that really works. And just the variety of gameplay options and the way that you can combo the powers with the shotgun and the assault rifle and stuff like that. It's just a good old time. Like, I'm not even kidding. When it comes to gunplay, it might be some of the best gunplay I've ever played. It's so good. It is so good. It's so much fun. So I highly recommend this game. I really do. If you can rent it, try it out, play it for a little bit, and if you really like it, buy it. It'll give you at least 30 hours of content. I'm at 25 right now. I'm getting really close to the end. So I would say definitely go check it out. It's a lot of fun, and I highly recommend you give it at least a shot, you know? So anyway, there you go. That is Rage 2. I hope you enjoyed the review, and until next time, I hope you have a good day, and I hope you rage on, baby. Hell yeah!